Hey guys, welcome back to Kids Are Great Cooks. Today I'm going to show you how to make some fresh homemade bread. So I have my water here, my hot water, and I'm going to take packets of yeast and put it in my hot water. It needs to be hot water to make the yeast activate faster, and if it's just room temperature water, that won't happen. So I'm going to take my packets and put it in my water, as well as some sugar. And I have 3 tablespoons of sugar, but I'm only gonna put like about 1/3. Now I'm going to mix once I have all of my yeast and sugar inside. I'm going to mix this until most of the yeast chunks are like dissolved. So now, once I have my yeast done, I'm going to move on and I'm going to add some olive oil, an egg, some salt, and the rest of my sugar in my bowl. Once I have all my ingredients, I'm going to mix them now. So while we've been preparing our other ingredients in our bowl, you can totally tell that our yeast has been foaming quite a bit. So now we're going to add the entire thing into our bowl. So now I'm going to add my flour. In total, we're gonna add a bit more than 4 cups. It kind of depends, but we're going to add 1 or 2 cups at a time. As it starts absorbing, I am going to add slowly more and more cups of flour. After you added about your 4th cup, you can definitely tell that it's becoming a lot more doughish, but even though it's really thick, you're still going to want to add a little tiny bit more, because you just have to think that this is what you're going to be kneading with your hands, and you don't want it sticking all over your hands. It's looking a bit sticky, so I'm going to add about 1/2 cup more of flour. So I'm going to sprinkle my board with flour, and I'm going to add the dough on top of it and start kneading. it's too sticky when you put it in the board, just remember you can always just add a little bit more flour, but when you do, just be careful because you don't want to add too much flour, also it'll get really thick and hard. As you start kneading, you're going to kind of get a better sense of how much flour you're going to need because of how sticky it is. So just start kneading and then you're going to get a better sense of what you need to do. You're going to knead for about 5 minutes. To knead, all you have to do is just push forward on the dough and then fold it backwards and then push forward on the dough and then fold it back inwards and then just keep doing that and then soon enough your dough will form. Once your dough is ready, you're going to want to form sort of a ball and then you want to put it back in your bowl and then you're going to just turn the light on in the oven. You don't want to turn it on to any degrees, just turn the light on in your oven and just let it rest for about 45 minutes. So once I have my dough in my bowl, I'm going to loosely cover it with some plastic wrap and then I'm going to put it in my oven. Hey guys, so our dough has been resting for about 45 minutes and now we're going to form our bread. Before anything, I'm going to dust my board with flour and then we can get started. You can definitely tell that the dough has doubled in size, if not more. So now I'm going to take the plastic wrap off. And it is going to be a bit sticky, but that's okay. So I'm going to take about a handful of dough and I'm going to round it into a ball and then flatten it so I have this flat circle. I'm going to take a pastry cutter and cut 5 slits in it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the end and then we're going to make some flowers. Now once you have your flower shape, I'm going to gently transfer it to a tray that has been floured. Now I'm going to do this over and over again until I have about 5 or 6. have a pastry cutter, you can just use a butter knife. For this next batch, I'm just going to do a bit smaller balls. To make these rolls fluffier and just more delightful than they are already, I'm going to take them and fold them inwards over and over again so that a bit of air is trapped inside of them. Now I'm done and they look so great. I'm going to put them in the oven for about 15 minutes and then we'll be done. The oven is preheated at 375 degrees. Hey guys, the bread has baked for about 15 minutes and now it's ready. They look super nice and I can't wait to try them. These are the best breads for sandwiches. They are so good. You can toast them, you can they are really good in anything that includes bread. So now I'm just going to try with a little bit of honey. It's so good, guys. I really hope you try it.